Hello Multiverse, welcome to Omniverse Gamers. My name is Damian Bazzaio. This video is going to talk about rolling initiative pre-session and why I do it and why it's the best thing I've thought about. Basically, you roll initiative when people are getting set up at the beginning of the game, when they're putting the books out, getting their sheets out. As I'm getting my stuff out and I get my battle sheet ready, I'm asking them for all their initiatives, pre-initiative or pre-rolling initiative for the whole session. The reason I do this, it saves time. Now you're like, well, why does it save time? It takes just as much time, and it actually takes longer time because everyone's kind of chaos and everyone's setting up, and I'm tallying as I go. But that time is useless. That's not valuable time because everyone's chit-chatting and doing their thing anyway. When I say I want an initiative roll, everyone's like, whoa, and it kind of alerts them we're going to start the game pretty soon, and they have to give me that's the first dice roll of the night, and it kind of gives them a setting. And yeah, we're setting up initiative for the rest of the combat. Now, if you want to have multiple combats in your game, you could kind of do this a couple sets if you want. I just keep the same initiative throughout all the same session because it just saves time. Initiative isn't really as important in 5th edition as it used to be. For some classes it is, but the classes that is important usually end up being first anyway, so it doesn't, it's not a big deal. But logistically and time-wise, if I do it in the beginning of the game, I can log it out, I can log it down, I can list it, I can have a list of who's going, and I do mystery guess. I do my monsters ahead of time. Say I have 4 options of monsters today. I'll roll initiative. I'll already have my initiative rolled for them before I even come today. I already have that done. It's random. I do it randomly, and I just write it down. I add theirs in. I write down, the fighter goes first, the roll goes second. Mystery guest number 1 might go third. The cleric goes 4th. The mystery guest number 2 might go 4th. It's one of those, you just kind of list it ahead of time. So now the players can write that down. I have it. Once we start playing, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I already have it. So the big benefit of this is roleplay and combat just smoothly transition into each other. We can be role-playing, and somebody's like, as soon as somebody wants to say, well, I'm going to stab this guy, I'm sick of his words, initiative starts. Or a surprise round, or whatever, depending on the situation, you kick into combat without having to be like, okay, now you got to roll initiative, and then like the Final Fantasy music goes off, and it's just everybody switches out of roleplay kind of into combat mode, and they're like getting their dice out and getting ready to go. It changes the dynamic, and if you just have it already ready to go, you're just like, oh, we're going into combat now, you were first. And it just, your roleplay doesn't have to stop. You can keep the roleplay going. You can transition in and out of combat pretty simply with this, and you don't get that segmented like pacing, you're doing a great roleplay. You set up this great epic combat that's just about to happen, and you have to stop and roll initiative. So you have 10 minutes of just rolling dice and just, I have a 2, I have a 3. You get that all done ahead of time. You're just like, oh, and this dragon rears up to swing at you. You're up. And you just go right into it. You don't have that middle ground that separates combat or roleplay, initiative, combat, and then you're out of combat. You go back into roleplay. You can just roleplay combat, and just smoothly transition in and out of turns without having to worry about anything else. This helps me as a DM because I know before they get to the battle, I know where my monster is in the order. So some monsters, if they go first, it's going to be a rough fight for the players. Some monsters, they roll 1 initiative, they're last. The players are going to get their whole turn. They're going to pummel this thing for a whole round before it even gets to act. Knowing that ahead of time helps me balance this for more drama and a more exciting combat. And another benefit of this is that the players know their order ahead of time. So in theory, I know I go after this person knows they go after this person. So when the combat starts, they already kind of have an idea tactically, like, if you're going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. They can work that out ahead of time, sort of. So when combat happens, it just quickens everything. You're using, instead of using in-game time, where you're stopping, rolling initiative, wasting 10, 15 minutes of game time, where you can have excitement and pacing and really exciting battles, you're using the initial time where everyone's milling about, not quite ready. And if that time is less valuable than game time. And that's why I pre-roll initiative. It's just an idea I started maybe 2 years ago now, and I have not looked back. It's just been the way to go. It saves time. It's better for drama. It's better for pacing. And it's just the only downside is, like, some people like to roll every time. And you can say you have 4 combats a night. You could after the combat's done and people are getting loot, you could have them then roll initiative for the next combat. There's a way to kind of keep the initiative order fluid. But I find just keeping a static initiative for the whole set. You have a 3-4 hour session, and it doesn't really matter, That's just my take on pre-rolling initiative. I hope you liked that video. Like, subscribe, and all that jazz. I hope to see you soon, and keep on gaming.